Hi everybody, how are you guys doing today? Hope you guys are doing well. I have some downtime here at my open house, so I figure I take this time to make this long overdue video on why we decided to move from New York all the way to Houston after 30 years. But yeah, for those of you that didn't know, we moved here exactly a year ago today. So we've actually moved down right when the pandemic happened last year. We were gonna take a nice drive down and explore everywhere, but because we didn't know, there was so much uncertainty, we just jetted and came down in like 2.5 days. So we made it here, and everything's been pretty good for the most part. We were expecting to go back to New York maybe like two times already by now to visit our friends, because usually when you move to a different state you tend to visit back home pretty often, but because of COVID, a lot of things, just so much things that didn't come into play, So for those a little bit background, we came to Houston in 2016 to check it out as tourists, like 2.5-3 days tops. But when I came down here in 2019, I checked out the lifestyle, like can I live here? Because at that moment we were deciding if we should stay in Long Island, move to California, or I don't know. So my friend, he brought up Houston. I was like, Houston? I don't want to go to Houston. Like, I checked it out, it's nothing I like. And this time, what I saw was more different. It was more of how I could actually live here. I saw all the stores that I wanted in Long Island, and I saw the weather I like in California. And I know Houston isn't any of them, but it is one of the top cities right now, and the top growing one as well. So I came to check it out in 2019. When Aston was born in May 2019, we decided, you know what, let's go to Houston, for many reasons. And so we found a house in July 2019, and then we closed that house in August 2019. It was a very quick process, and the house was vacant until we moved there last year. Well, my friend was living there for a few months already. So yeah, so there's many reasons why we moved down here, but I figure I'd just share with you the top 5 reasons in no particular order. This is just me just kind of just going with the flow. The first main reason was the cold. Personally, I don't like the cold. I don't think Karen likes the cold either. We like the cold if it's like snow in like the mountains, like let's say Colorado, right? That type of cold we like because it's like natural, and you get nice scenery. Growing up in New York my whole life, man, that slush, the first day is always nice, but after that, the shoveling, the slush, the parking, the parking like nuance, that's just not for me. I didn't want to do that for another 30 years, especially with a kid now. Like, time is so precious these days. It just wasn't for me, So I love winters, but just at different stages. So we moved down here mainly because I think we both prefer warm weather than cold weather. That's why we love California. But so yeah, that's reason number 1. Reason number 2 was state income tax. Just like looking at my 2019 taxes, you could just see that state income tax, they do take a nice chunk out of it, especially if you live in the city. If you live and work in the city, and in New York State, you're gonna pay federal, state, and city tax. But if you live in Long Island, it's just the federal and state. But yeah, we definitely saved a lot of money there. We just filed our 2020 taxes. But yeah, just by 2019, I could already see the taxes we were paying to the state is basically working for like another 1 or 2 months just to pay the state income tax from our paychecks. So I just figure, you know what? All these big companies and wealthy people are all moving to non-income states, no state income states. Why not us? So I think it was a pretty cool move. I love saving money, so it was a no-brainer for us. That's one of the main reasons what attracted us. Reason number 3 was cost of living. Long Island and California, we were looking at some average homes. I mean, I love those nice homes, but to be realistic, our price point was from like what 750 to maybe 1 million, 1.1 million at most. So, sorry, I thought someone came in. So, basically, we were thinking, you know what? Our finances are very comfortable right now. We could afford this 700 to 1.1 million dollar house, but do we really want to be tied to a mortgage for 30 years, 5 to 8 grand a month? That's not including cars or baby stuff or furniture or food or going out to eat, hanging out, baby showers, birthdays, weddings. Like, can we really? Is it does it financially make sense for us? And short term wise, yes, it's very exciting, but long term wise, I'm thinking, I always think long term, 10, 20, 15, 25 years. While my kid is growing up, I think it's just too much commitment for me. California as well. So I mean, for us, we decided, wow, Texas, we could definitely learn how to balance our work life more, as well as our family life more. Because in New York, at least for my experience, it was just work, always chasing money, and you just not balancing your fitness, your family, your faith, and your fun. I wasn't enjoying New York. I was living there just to live there, to make a living, but I never even got to see New York stuff. Now that I'm living in Texas, we're excited to go back to New York so we could actually enjoy what New York has to offer, because it is such a beautiful city. And I've always not appreciated, because I was just trying to make a living there. So that was one of the major reasons why we moved there as well, just cost of living. We're not here forever. It's just here for 10, 20 years. I mean, for at least 20 years till the kids graduate. Schools are great here, and then we'll probably go somewhere else. Make and save money here is what I call it. So number 4 reason is parking and commuting in New York. Oh my gosh, I hate it. It really ruins my day. I don't know for you. I'm sure a lot of you feel the same way. You just hate the commute and just the signs, the parking restrictions, the everything, the fees, the cameras. Fighting for parking in a parking lot is ridiculous. Like, that could really just ruin your day. Like, even if you came in first and then you're signaling and someone just swoops in, you could get into arguments, and these days everything's so dangerous, especially now that I'm a family man. It's like, is it even worth it, right? Or even if you swoop in and they think they're right and you are right, they could key your car, right? And then is it worth that extra time taking it to the shop, fixing your tires, whatever the paint is? It's just I don't know, just thinking about it really annoys me. I don't know. But over here, like, and on top of that, the traffic, the traffic's ridiculous. Over here, there's no traffic, not as much traffic. There's still traffic, not as much traffic. But, the route is definitely longer, but at least you're not stuck in traffic, So I just kind of hate being stuck in traffic. It's just not for me. I'd rather drive 1 mile per minute, 20 miles away than get stuck in traffic for 20 minutes for 2 miles. That's just me personally. So the commute was a big thing. Here, I've never had a parking situation, had to worry or look at signs. It's been pretty good so far, so that's one of them. And I guess the last one is just growth. The Houston is one of the top cities right now. It's super diverse. When we moved in here, I thought we were gonna have a hard time fitting in. We even thought, if it doesn't work out, we could always move back home or move to California and decide then. But actually, when we moved here, everyone has been super nice. We've never encountered any type of hate or racism, or everyone's just so chill. Because actually, a lot of people that we meet here are not from Texas, at least in Houston, right? I can't say for all the other cities, but everyone's pretty diverse here. You got people we met from California, from Germany, from all over the world. It's just I felt right at home. I didn't have to change the way I talk or the way I have to act. We're very comfortable in our own skin. Like, the people we meet, we talk just fine, which is pretty crazy, you know. So I felt just at home, just moving here. But overall, we did feel like we needed change. We needed a change of environment. Sometimes when you're too comfortable in your environment, you kind of stop growing. I think that's where we were. We were just very like frustrated, and we were like, you know, we need to go somewhere, you know, more where we could stop being as stressed all the time. So environment was super important to us, and Texas has been pretty good. You know, I didn't want to live in New York for 7 because life is short, right? You know, people move around all the time. And those of you that never moved, or even not even moved, just travel, you gotta go travel more and kind of see how different parts of the world and the country works. It's definitely very eye-opening. You just because you're born somewhere doesn't mean you have to stay there at all. Especially if your parents, sometimes a lot of you are first generation, just like us, just like ourselves. If your parents have been traveling and they see the different, they could understand why you want to move a lot of times. But you know, sometimes if parents have never traveled, it's good to go travel with them, kind of see how things work. You know, so when I came to Houston, my parents came to visit. They kind of see how, you know, kids are happy, you know, all this stuff. And I mean, I'm not saying kids aren't happy in New York, but I'm just saying like there's a different type of happiness. It's weird. I can't explain it. You just got to come check it out or experience it for yourself. And that's for not just Houston, just every state in general. There's just different types of living. But Houston was good because it wasn't too different from New York. Like if we moved to like somewhere like Colorado or Denver to start a new life, I think that would be too much of a culture shock to us because it would be too different. But Houston was pretty on point. Everything's pretty updated. The food is just growing. Seed is growing really big here. So you're getting a lot of diversity from like New York influence, like East Coast foods come in, and you get some of the West Coast food. So it's pretty good in that sense as well. So, but overall, it's definitely the growth. We wanted something different. Life is short, you know. You live like what the average person lives 80 years. I lived 30 in New York already. That's about 1/3 of my life. We're gonna spend another 20 years here. We're not gonna live here forever, that's for sure. We're gonna live maybe 20 years here, raise kids here, balance our life, make some smarter investments, save money, save taxes, grow some businesses. 20 years, once we got this going, kids are off, they leave us, then we'll work on the last third. But hopefully all these investments and businesses will take care of the last 30 years wherever we want to live, whether we could finally move to California, because we've always loved California. That's still the dream, baby. Enjoy. So Houston is just a spot to really just wind down, learn to balance everything, and eventually, as we get older, things will take off on its own. So hopefully, I mean, I probably missed a lot of things I wanted to say, but hopefully this short video could give some ideas, bounce some ideas on why we decided to move here. And on top of that, a lot of our friends are coming to check it out. A few of our friends already moved here, which is great. So we'll be seeing a lot more people move around, not just to Houston, just in different states all over the world. I think people are just starting to see like, oh shoot, you know what, we could just up and move, you know. Rates are at an all-time low. A lot of people are buying, first-time buyers and things like that. So very exciting times. The future is very bright for sure, you know. So I hope this video finds you well, and hopefully I don't have to edit much because I really don't want to touch that stuff, but I probably will have to, just because I suck at this video stuff. But yeah, if you enjoy this, subscribe, and maybe I'll make some more top 5 things about Houston or whatever, like top 5 things I don't like, or share with me your experience about moving as well. I would love to hear it in the comments. So thank you everybody. Have a good one. We're home.
Turn right on Loxford Drive, then turn right on East Lake Gables Drive.
You guys did it.
Yay!
We did it. Home sweet home.